Greetings, and welcome back to Nerdvana, YouTube's newest show about tabletop gaming and etiquette.
Unless another show's come along in the last 2 weeks. Or we've been canceled.
Oh.
We can get canceled on YouTube?
No.
No shit'ems.
Now we're heading right back into game reviews, starting with Milo in a casual game called Timeline.
Yeah, that's right, man. We're going to go back in time! And then Chris will be reviewing Bolt Action, which is a World War II miniature game. Benjamin's going to be going over the great concepts of food.
But first, a brand new segment we're excited about, Hub Orders Tacos.
Order some tacos?
Yes.
And that was Hub, ordering tacos.
That was good.
Now on with the show. It was nice.
After having watched Back to the Future movies more times than I care to mention as a child, I always wanted to travel back in time. But since my lack of a DeLorean or a flux capacitor, I was unable to achieve my goal. However, there is a game out there that will simulate traveling back in time, or at least your knowledge of certain time periods. So grab the nearest TARDIS and prepare to travel back in time, as strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Alright, so this week I'm reviewing Timeline, and this is another great party game just to have over. It's another quick filler game. And the objective of this essentially is you'll have 4 cards in front of you, and you have to be the first to get rid of all your cards into the timeline. And to do so, you would just take one, like this one right here, and then you would look at your timeline and then place it wherever you think it would fit, and then you flip it over and find out if it fits. If it does, you're down 1 card. If not, you would draw a new one from the top of the deck. And then the winner of the game is whoever gets rid of all their cards first. So it's a nice, real quick, easy play, a lot of fun, and I mean, half the time, me and my friends are just like, oh, that happened then? We get fooled sometimes because the artwork is really cool, but they don't necessarily go with a time period on some of the artwork. They may put it a little earlier and stuff to mess with you. But then the nice thing is there are also 5 sets of it. The newest one that came out is the Music and Cinema, but then the original was Inventions, and then they have Science and Discoveries, Historical Events, and then Diversity, which kind of mixes a little bit from everything. So, I mean, this is just a great filler game. I mean, if you play it too often, you can memorize the dates on the cards, but another nice thing, though, is if you do have all these sets, you can mix them all together to make it harder, because you can unmix them because they are color-coded at the bottom with the dates. So it just makes it a nice way to expand it. If you've played them a lot, then you can mix them together to make it a little harder. So, but I do love playing this game with my friends, except the historical events, because they're all historical buffs and I'm not, so they kicked my ass at that game. So, but yeah, if you get a chance, pick up 1 or 2 or all 5 copies.
Why do I like this game? Well, first off, it's a miniatures game and I get to blow stuff up. Second, remember this, guys, that this is, or gals, this is a miniatures game, so you will have to paint your figs, or get somebody else to paint them, or just play with them naked. Who cares? The great thing about this game is you don't have to worry about initiative as much, like in some other games. In this game, the initiative is very easy. You can just look at the die, your die or your opponent's die, after it's pulled out of the cup, and you can tell it what you do. Then you just take the die. Say if you're running, or if you take the die out, or if you're going to do an action, or fire, you place it by your unit. Once it's placed, you've already played it and you're done. It's simple as that. Another cool thing about this particular game is you can use your army in any configuration you want. You can do tanks and infantry. You can do artillery and infantry, or just artillery and tanks, or just an infantry battle. It's awesome all the way around. Again, the bad thing is it is naked figs, or naked models when you buy them. The good thing, though, is you don't have to take out a second mortgage just to buy a simple army like some of the other games I'll be talking about later in the shows. This one, I've bought 1 and 2 armies in the same price range for 1 army in some of the other games. Look, ultimately this is a miniature war game, and if you're not into miniatures, this is not going to be cost effective for you. You're not going to like it. But if you do, this is probably one of the better rule sets out there. You don't have to do a lot of exploring. The rules themselves are laid out very good. And you don't have to worry about looking for certain roles on a different page. They're laid down so you can read them in a very straight manner and you don't have to worry about it. Also, it's really cool. Each army has its own supplement book, not too expensive. Doesn't hit you too badly in the pocketbook. So that's pretty good also. And that's one of the other reasons I think it's really hitting off really well. So remember, this is a miniatures game. It's gonna be fun. Rock and roll with it. Thanks. Have a good day.
Oh, salutations again, viewers, and welcome back to Benjamin's Etiquette Corner. If you remember, last time we talked about the trials and tribulations of joining a new gaming group. One of the suggestions I offered, and I hope they worked for you, was bringing food with you to your new gaming friends. However, a few things have to be kept in mind regarding people's special dietary restrictions. Depending on your group, a few tactful inquiries or even outright questions may find out what they are. But until you're sure, here's a few things to keep in mind. Some of the most common food allergies include nuts, seafood and shellfish in particular, dairy. And it's not just allergies, a few people have other limitations on what they eat. Some other dietary restrictions may include meat, especially pork, gluten, spicy foods. Now, obviously, it's impossible for almost anything you make or buy to avoid all of these dietary restrictions. However, if you do bring one of those things that features one item heavily, I recommend you bring something else as well. And in addition to both the allergy sufferers and religiosos, there are some people who just don't like certain things. That's why I recommend for your first foray into culinary cuisine that you consider the following things with easy aftermarket modifications. Pizza, a classic choice and easy for the fussy to pick off their least favorite topping. Just remember to avoid bacon, ham, and sausage until you're sure of your audience. And always leave off the anchovies. Sub sandwiches. A good choice for a long trip as you don't have to worry about it getting cold like the pizza. It also allows for easy removal of unwanted ingredients. Roast beef, turkey, or veggie and cheese are probably your best bets here. KFC or local equivalent. Most chicken places will have something for everyone and it's relatively portable and mess-free. The downside is that you tend to have to shell out a major buck for it. Salad. While this option has all the advantages of the above menu options, the major problem with it is that it will quite likely get you kicked out of your group. A lot of gamers think of salad as something that happens to other people. So, if you can follow these simple guidelines, I think you'll find a group that is happy, responsive, and always glad to see you come to the table. Very few gamers are immune to the siren call of illicit calories. Just make sure that you're not the only one driving and buying, because gaming groups are a democracy after all, and democracies spread the pain. And if you're all especially willing, you could even chip in $5 every week to make sure you always have something fresh, hot, and delicious brought to the table. This has the dual purposes of being wonderful and saving everyone some time so they don't have to fend for themselves. Well, that's the end of my little segment tonight. I hope you've learned something. Join me again next week when we'll be discussing how to make your house gamer ready. Ta-ta for now. Now, I know a lot of you were looking forward to the segment with Christopher Walken reviewing Candyland, but thanks to the power of protected speech, those claims have been dropped.
Which is really too bad because he really knocked it out of the park this week.
But it was all about actual candy.
But I like candy.
Anyway, guys, let's talk about the games we did review. Milo?
Well, I gave Timeline a D10 because it's just a fun, quick game to play with your friends.
Yeah, but the history nerds always beat me.
That's right.
Yeah, if you play it often enough, you can remember the year or memorize the years, which kind of does hinder on the replay value.
Well, that's not really a problem, though, because Chris can't even remember his lines.
So I did bolt action this week. I gave it a D10 because ultimately still it's just a miniatures game and you have to paint your own figs.
Oh.
I mean, the board looks cool and everything when it's all set up, but I don't think it's really anything I can get into.
Well, I like the painting aspect of it, but getting my butt kicked over and over again by Chris kind of lost its appeal.
Did you know what was my favorite segment of the day?
What's that?
Yours, Ben. Thanks for the free samples.
That's my lunch.
They gave out samples?
I hate you guys.
So good.
Anyway, thanks for watching this week, and we hope you enjoyed the show. And keep in mind, transcendence through gaming.
Cheers.